Throughout the movie, he's having these conversations with Black Widow about how, like, you know,
he still wants to get at that sweet old lady.
Oh yeah, dude. He wants that 90-year-old puss, dude.
He does.
If she was not married, he absolutely would.
Well, her
Captain America
dead.
doesn't go into a pussy that doesn't have sand in it.
It reminds him of the war. We had a lot of pussy.
I call my pussies the beaches of Normandy.
I'm always storming them. I'm always dropping bombs. Loads.
It's that time of year again, everybody. It's that fantastic beginning of spring, beginning of summer, end of spring time where Marvel likes to release.
It's beginning of spring and the end of spring.
Well, Marvel likes to release their
Yes.
their Captain America.
Because Marvel's coming out with their newest Captain America Avengers film, we thought it'd be a good time to revisit one of our favorite Marvel movies, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which came out in 2014, the year of our Lord.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah. Yeah, but not everything I say is wrong, Kevin. You have to act like, wow, that was...
Well, I'll agree with you when I do.
A lot of really, really good movies came out that year. Like, so many that this movie wouldn't even hit my top 10, even though it's so good.
This movie is
I don't
great.
even know if it would hit my list at all.
Yeah.
This movie is great. I don't even think I would remember it if you just asked me to list 2014
Well, when I
movies.
was rewatching the movie last night, because I had not seen it since I saw it in theaters. I rarely ever rewatch Marvel movies at all. Even the ones I like, I rarely rewatch them. And I was rewatching it last night, and I was like, I don't remember any of this. Like, literally, the scene came up when Nick Fury was about to die, and I was like, sitting there in my head, I'm like, you know, Nick Fury's not really in the other movies, is he? Like, isn't he kind of gone? I think he dies in this movie. Yeah, he dies in this movie, and then he gets shot. I was like, yeah, he does die. Oh wait, no, he has that scene later where he's like,
not dead.
I always keep one eye open or whatever. I don't remember any of the order of the movies, especially because they're not like Black Panther. Where does that even fit in the MCU? Like,
yeah,
like because Captain America should be there right now, right?
What?
In Wakanda,
No, dude.
because he went
Bucky's
there.
there.
So Bucky's there during all that.
Yeah. Well, he's not.
He's just hanging out.
Well, yeah.
Wait, Bucky is
They
there?
should have
Wait,
a
hold
Bucky
on, hold on, wait. What?
Yeah, There should be a Bucky
Bucky's in Wakanda?
He's
that
frozen,
whole movie?
Yeah.
There should be a Bucky cut.
There should-
It's a sterile shot of just Bucky frozen like this, and just in the
Alright,
background, it's
And
like,
it just keeps cutting.
I want to completely rewrite Black Panther now and just make it Halo, like where it's like the first scene is that like the Covenant's attacking and they're like, we need to give our friends a warm welcome, and then it cuts to them unfreezing Bucky.
the Winter Soldier, like Bucky, right?
Right.
Before you know it's Bucky. Like, of course I know it's Bucky because I've seen the movie and like the whole trailer's
And
like,
also,
Bucky is
if-
back and he's the Winter Soldier.
Also, if you know anything about the comic.
But like
books,
him
it's
becoming
there.
like him being Bucky, in the end or towards the end is like the worst part about it because like I was watching and just looking at it objectively like this Winter Soldier character and it just sounds so cool because it's just like because it's literally just Black Widow's like, oh, there's this dude who has been killing people for 50 years.
They call him.
And he's the
Ghost.
greatest.
And then
They call him.
even Captain America
They
is
actually
like,
do.
And
Captain America's like, it's a ghost story. Like,
then
that's
she's
just
like, no,
fake.
I saw him. I saw his face. He's
have
real. He shot through me to kill another person. I'm like, that is sweet. And he looks cool. He's got a big old robotic arm.
Yeah. The only thing I can say that I'm not a huge fan of with his character design is the mask that he wears. It looks a little like paintball-y to me, where like the rest.
It's
of his
only.
costume's
It's only.
really
I
cool.
think it's only bad when like it's a close up. But like
Yeah.
in the just in the back, like when he's running around doing stuff, it looks cool.
Yeah.
But like when it's close up, it looks.
It
Stupid.
looks like a paintball mask
Yeah.
that he just put on.
However, it's like I think it's completely ruined the moment he says anything and you know it's Bucky because that seems like it's cool. It's like this crazy action sequence where the Winter Soldier's like beating people up and stuff and like Captain America's knocking him over and stuff and then his mask comes off and then he's like Bucky and then literally
He's
the
like,
Winter
"I'm
Soldier, this
Bucky."
super mysterious dude, super awesome. Like you're seeing this whole movie, he just goes. Who the hell is Bucky? I'm like, why the heck did he say that? Why did he say anything to Captain America at
He
that
should have
point?
kept his mouth shut.
He shouldn't have said anything too. Like it was such a stupid moment. Like I watched that, I was like, oh, what?
Bucky's been like probably the biggest
That's
problem
right.
that the current Marvel like storyline has.
That's true.
Because he's way too important at this point. Like
Yeah.
Captain America cares about him way too much. And yeah, I think I agree. I think he would have been a little bit cooler if he was just a random guy, or if he
Like if he didn't say anything the whole movie, like it was just like Captain America, just completely based on the fact that they used to. Be
he was
friends.
just Bane, like he just had Bane's voice and
Oh, that was a Bucky.
it's also kind of the guy that plays Bucky. he's kind of like he's not a goober, he's a good-looking guy, but like the way he plays
No,
Bucky,
no, he's kind of weird.
He looks like a failed stand-up comedian to me. He was completely brainwashed. Like, I feel like that question would mean nothing to him and he wouldn't even acknowledge it. Like it.
Kevin, when was the last time you saw Winter Soldier? You said you didn't watch it specifically for this, right?
For this, no, but I had seen it really recently, like earlier in the
Kevin
month.
did that patented watch all the Marvel movies binge.
Gets harder every year.
It does.
Before the
yes.
Avengers.
I'm not doing it for the fourth one. That's too much.
Doesn't that come out like
next
really?
year?
Really, it just comes out next year? Huh.
Yeah. No one knows anything about it, and apparently the title's a spoiler.
Well, that's what they're assuming because
Hulk is dead.
Well, it's
Avengers
probably-
4 Hulk's dead.
Avengers 4.
Like it's
X-Men.
Like the thing is it's probably gonna.
4 X-Men. Not Rise of the
No, just X-Men.
X-Men.
I was thinking about it the other day. How many superhero movies are going to come out this year? Is a ton, dude.
I forget every single time that Ant-Man and Wasp is a real movie.
There is three Marvel movies. There's Ant-Man, Black Panther,
Right.
and Avengers. There's also a Venom movie. There's also an Aquaman movie.
And
there's
is Sony making
Yeah,
Sony movie? No.
And
It's gonna be rated R.
And there's Deadpool.
though.
That's seven already.
Too many.
And then not comic book movie, but superhero movie, The Incredibles 2 also comes out this year.
Oh man, that's another one, yeah.
Yeah, that does count. So we 4 that we all know off the top of our head superhero movies in 2014 to 8 just 4 years later.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Good year for the
Okay.
MCU.
Yeah.
Good year for superhero movies in general, I guess.
Good year for, just film.
I guess 2014 was the year of cinema started, dude. Like, there's
Like,
so many great movies.
I don't
Like,
know if
look up 2014 movies. There.
I don't know if it was the year that
Post
it was
them.
started.
Post them on here.
It was definitely the year that it was perfected.
Yes, did you see The Raid 2, dude?
I did see
That is the best movie ever made.
That
It
was
is.
2014.
Did you see
Whiplash.
Birdman, dude?
Birdman, Whiplash, Grand Budapest
This whole
Hotel,
video is just us jerking off 2014.
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
Interstellar.
I'm in nitpicking territory because overall I really like
Yeah,
the
no,
movie.
overall I like the movie a lot.
and any flaws that I have with it.
Well, we're getting the nitpicks out of the way.
Yeah, and,
Like, I don't like Falcon that much. I think
well,
it's like...
that's what I was about to get to. Is Falcon? So
Falcon is way too cool with Captain America, where like he barely knows him. He's like, anywhere he goes, I'm going. It's like,
has
why do you care
like,
that much?
His introduction is my favorite part because of him. Like it's my favorite scene with him in it because it's just showing how like cool Captain America is. He's running around in circles and he's just like on your left. He's being a total prick about it, and then it's just like this funny scene. And you're like,
Especially that last one he goes by, like he's not even close to him. He still says on your left, and he doesn't have to move out of the way at all. Just like Captain America, you're a bad person. Like
and
you have flaws.
It's just like kind of a funny little scene.
I know.
And you're thinking, oh, with this Falcon guy, he's not going to end up being a real character, right? And then he does. He ends up being like one of the main characters. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that. He just, again, ends up becoming way too important.
Yeah, like I don't have a problem with his character. It's just like he's just kind of boring. Like he's just not like he just is the guy that's like always got Captain America's back, and it's like I don't really know why he does, but I mean, it's Captain America, so it makes sense. It's just like if you're a soldier, you can look up to him and be like no matter what, whatever he does.
I think a little thing that they could have done to, and maybe they even did this and I didn't notice, this is very possible, that they completely did this and I just don't know, is that they could have thrown, like, because they'd go to his house, if they just, like, put a little Captain America poster, like, in his bedroom or something, showing that he already idolized him or something, like he was a hero of his, just, like, even a little detail like that, just give him some characterization to show that, like, oh, this is why, it's because he already looks at him as a hero.
Yeah.
A couple issues I had with it are actually way more simpler than all that other stuff.
Well, mine are nitpicks, like I said, it's just me, like, trying to find flaws at this point.
My only issues with it at the time, they still hold up, but they just bother me less now. Because back in the day, I didn't like it as much as I do now.
I'm probably in the same boat.
I grew to like it more recently, because at the time that's when the Marvel fatigue started to hit me, around that time. And so when Nick Fury died and came back, I'm like, fucking of course. I'm like they can't even fucking kill anyone nowadays. And then it hit full stride by Age of Ultron, because I'm like, okay, you have an opportunity, Age of Ultron, to fix all that, and then they didn't. I'm like, okay.
When you're talking about they killed Quicksilver, dude.
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. That's true.
That was never a problem with me because it's something I kind of liked about his character. One thing I do really like about this movie is that it makes Nick Fury more than just a guy that looks cool. Like I liked him being like you actually see him.
I trust nobody. I'm
He's
doing
like
my own thing.
He's like M from James Bond, but he's a paranoid psychopath.
Well, no, like he's part of this big organization, but like he plays by his own. Like he's got his own like set of rules, and like he does his own thing.
Well, he's like a loose cannon cop, but he's been given the whole station. Up until this movie, he, at least in my eyes, he was always just like a whatever character.
It's the first time he ever had a conversation that wasn't about the Avengers initiative.
Yeah, he would just like show up at the end of the movie and be like, "So the Avengers are happening."
Yes.
And this movie they
he's in the Avengers. He's like, the Avengers are happening.
The Avengers are
right
happening.
now.
Right. I also like that they did that whole Avengers thing. Like the Avengers happened because he was like, Nick Fury's like, listen, we need Avengers to fight the world's problems, blah blah blah. Like we need like a team of superhumans. And then this movie's like, we just need a bunch of huge planes. He just has a bunch of crazy ideas that he keeps having actually happen. Where it's just like, okay, guys, I know the Avengers thing didn't work. Like the Hulk, like that all just fell apart.
Guys,
like,
it didn't let.
What we need is giant, like, so you know these giant planes that, like that giant plane I have that turns invisible. Like let's just get like 3 of them. Let's
and
just get like
put
big
giant guns on them that can snipe people from the sky.
That's just as good as the Avengers.
I was thinking about this, because he mentions Doctor Strange in the movie, or that
He
one
does.
guy
He
mentions
said
Doctor
Stephen
Strange.
Strange.
So Doctor Strange in the movie has no reason for anyone to care about him until he starts becoming magical, which happens halfway through the movie. So does that mean that Doctor Strange in this is either like a complete stupid miss, or it's really well planned out and the timeline is perfect, and this was just a cool nod to the fact that this was happening at the same time as the beginning of Doctor Strange.
I think they'd like to. Think they'd like to allude that it's that, but it's probably just. I know we're making a Doctor Strange movie.
You also have to remember how planned out these are. So a lot of reviews, will talk about how the movie's really great because it's a spy movie. Like it is just a James Bond movie. You could.
It's James Bond, but like a guy who just kicks people really hard. Yeah. It's the best.
He's just the strongest.
He does do that a lot.
That's my favorite thing. Like they did it so many times in this movie. Just Captain America just kicking somebody like to death. Like just one kick and just slams him into a wall.
He does not forget leg day at all.
No, he never does.
He's just, which I think
I saw an interview with the Russo brothers that was like they're like, how come
Captain America? I just love it when Captain America kicks.
No, that's literally what they said. They're like, we don't know what to do with Captain America. Like, what does he do in an action sequence? He hits people with his shield. It's like, that's not cool. Like, well, he's strong. What if he just kicks people a lot? And they're like, yeah, and we just thought it was super cool and he kicked people. So that's why he kicks so many people in the movie.
The movie's action scenes, they kind of vary. Like there are some that are shot really well from in my opinion, like they're pulled back. They get a lot of long takes, a lot of cool like Chris Evans doing some stunts. I don't know if it's probably not Chris Evans, but it's a lot of Captain America doing cool stuff. But then there are others that I felt were cut way too fast. Like there's specifically one in the it's where it's a cool scene. It's where the villain guy Robert Redford I'm gonna kill everyone with a little zappy thing. And then Black Widow's like, no, you're not. I'm this chick. And then she's like, shoo. That scene is cut way too fast. And it made me motion sick a little bit.
With an old lady, dude.
Yeah.
I think I like all the action sequences except, like, really the end one. Like, the end one just kind of...
It turns into a big old...
It's just a big old mess, and it's just like... Because all the other ones are super cool. It's like Captain America, people with a shield.
Well, and also that, like, I feel like that whole ending, like, the whole climax is a little hit and miss, because you have some cool parts. You have Captain America, he's like running up stuff and he's fighting people, but then you also have like, they're like, what do we do with Falcon? Well, he's flying around a little bit. Well, and then he has to, like, there has to be some conflict. So what if he loses his Falcon wings? Okay, what do we do with him?
And now he's just a guy.
Now he's just, he's a guy. Well, let's have him fight Crossbones. He's just a guy too, and just the two guys can fight.
They'll drop a building on him.
Guy man and man guy fight each other in a building.
The payoff to that is literally in Civil War. He says, "This is what you get for dropping a building on my face."
But like, I mean, we're not gonna be the first person to say this or anything, but like, it's just a Bourne movie, and that's what's so cool about it. Like, it's literally like a plot of a Bourne movie, where it's just like, trust no one. Okay, that's the plot. Cool. I think that's what makes this movie so good. Is like, there's so many scenes that are like these really cool action sequences, but there's also cool, memorable scenes that aren't action sequences that are like, when Nick Fury's at his house and he's showing him his phone, and he's like, people are listening to us.
Yeah.
That's like all things like that.
A scene that I completely forgot about that actually like emotionally resonated with me was the scene where he goes and visits Peggy. Like all that stuff later on, I didn't care about. Like when he does it in Civil War, I was like,
Yeah,
who cares?
I was like, oh,
But-
this is in this one too.
In this movie, I felt like the scene was kind of heart touching. It's kind of sad because he goes in, he's telling her this story because he's been trying to be hooked up with all these girls that are in his life by Black Widow, and he's like, no, he's like he makes up all these excuses, and then you kind of forget
Teeth
why.
are too big.
And then there's this heart touching scene where she's talking to her and she's like completely senile, and then he's like,
no.
oh,
I actually forgot that she was senile. Like when I went back and rewatched, I'm like, oh fuck, I totally forgot she was. I thought she was just like, yeah, it was great.
And then he's like, you're still my favorite girl. And then she coughs or something, and he grabs her a tissue, and then
She's like, oh my gosh, you're alive.
When
And you're like,
comes
oh,
back,
how many times has
you're
this
like,
happened?
oh, this is so sad. They have to have the same conversation every time.
This movie it does so well and tries so hard to like give Captain America one depth and like any sort of like
Coolness.
character, because all the other ones don't.
Yeah.
Like that's what sucks. Is like this one has moments like that, has all this cool stuff, has him like figuring things out, not just by hitting people with a shield.
One of the most interesting things about the character of Captain America to me is the fact that he missed all that time in American history. It makes him a part of a different time period where like he's a relic, like he thinks differently than people from nowadays.
You could make that even more interesting than this movie even does. Like
Yeah.
this movie doesn't even play with it that much.
Final thoughts on Captain America: Winter Soldier.
I would say it is the second best Marvel movie. I can say. I would say it's my second favorite. It's just like it's not stupidly complicated like Civil War. Like I watched a recap of Civil War like the other day just because I was like, I don't remember anything about that. And like that's basically the lead up into this movie, into Avengers. And it's just like there's so much crap in that movie that you're just like, it's like 4 different movies happening at the same time.
So
where this movie's just like it's Captain America versus people.
part of the thing I think I don't like about Bucky is that you have a character that is relevant to your main character's past in order for there to be like some conflict. Like if that's your villain, it's like this relevant person.
Also, also because the last person from his era he thought was from his era, just has.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing where like I was actually at the point I wanted to make.
all-
The whole movie, Captain America's set up to be like this guy that's like completely unrelatable to anyone. Like the whole joke about him not dating anybody. It's like he doesn't know it. Like he can't be friends with anybody really because he's from the 1940s.
Well, he even has that line to
Like,
Black Widow where he's like, what shared life experiences do I have?
And then when Bucky's alive, it's like, oh my gosh! Not only is he's my best friend, he's the only friend I can have. And and they say him and Iron Man are friends, but I don't. There's nothing that leads me to think that they're really friends. Like
Captain America does not have any friends except Falcon. They're best friends.
I don't even think he likes Falcon.
Falcon's just like a dog that follows him around.
Didn't you see the end? Like he's constantly trying to make him not go with him. Like he's like I'm gonna go after him. He's like, you're gonna go after the Winter Soldier. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it alone. He's like, I'm gonna go with you. And he's like, it's gonna be dangerous. And he's like, I'm gonna go anywhere you're gonna go. He's like, don't worry, like I can do it my own. He's like, don't worry, you're Captain America. I've got your back always. I'll be there. Don't worry. Like you don't have to talk me out of it. He's like, all right, fine, Falcon, you can go.
My overall thoughts on the movie are it's very good. It's my third favorite Marvel movie. It doesn't top Guardians for me, but it's still very good. It's not perfect, but I think it's the best version of a Captain America story we've gotten, and it is what most Captain America movies should strive to be.
And this movie can do even better. Like things with Bucky can be fixed. Like I think that semi-emotional ending when Bucky's beating him up, and then he's like, I'm not gonna fight you because you're still my friend. Like even if you don't recognize it, like that scene can be done even better. Like you can have a more emotionally resonating scene.
Fast. Strong.
Want to go back to bad movies? I'm bringing back Double Down because you can't get much badder than Neil Breen. So The Ritual and Brawl in Cell Block 99. If you want to witness murder.
So I'll bring back a movie of the week tradition and vote for it. I'm gonna vote The Ritual.
I was also gonna vote The Ritual.
Yay!
Alright, so we'll be back next week exactly.
Exactly next week.
Exactly next week when we do The Ritual.